Welcome to the 2020 UBCP ACTRA Awards Red Carpet. I'm Sabrina Furminger, and tonight I will be here on this red carpet speaking with the shining stars of BC film and television. Mari, you're in the shot.
I'm sorry, Mommy.
Okay, fine. I'm in my kitchen. The UBCP ACTRA Red Carpet is taking place on Zoom. 2020 is a weird year, but it's more important than ever to celebrate the people who've kept us entertained during this pandemic. Expect laughs, expect candid conversation, expect the unexpected, expect my cats. Anything can happen on the UBCP ACTRA Awards virtual red carpet. Shall we begin?
I'm ready. Let's do this. I'm with my favorite thought succubus.
That's me? All right, Mr. Robbins, Esquire. You have some very emotionally charged scenes in Daughter, for which you are nominated this evening. What drew you to this very emotional role? Because you have some intense scenes both with John Cassini and with Jen McClain-Angus.
Yeah, listen, when your future vice president calls, you answer.
That's right. Vice President Cassini, it's true.
John called, I read the script, I loved the script, I thought it was really important. I'm a fan and friend of John and Jen, and I really admire Anthony Shim very much. His work ethic, his tenacity, I jumped at it, man. I was like, I have to be a part of this. I think it's a hard story to tell. I think it's such an important story to tell right now. I have a daughter who is 16 going on 17, who is very much in the thick of this subject matter. And so it was just really important to me to get involved.
Well, while I got you here for the next few seconds, there's another character I want to talk about. That's Noah Funk. Season 2 of Pure is currently airing on CBC Gem. Love me some Pure. How has Noah changed you as an artist?
Oh, immensely. That's some of the hardest I've ever worked and some of the proudest I've ever been. That entire cast and crew is phenomenal. That experience was life-changing. I'm immensely proud of that show. It's been fun to sort of rewatch it again, to try to live tweet with people. And I of course, hadn't seen season 2 in a little while because it aired previously in America before it got to air up here in Canada. And it's just been, it's nice. I reminded, it's a great show, and I'm really humbled to be a part of it.
Carmen Moore, I am so excited to see you today. Look, you look so beautiful.
I told my friend that I was going to stay in pajamas for this, and then she's like, it's a virtual red carpet. At least shower. So I showered for you. I put on a nice top.
I hardly appreciate that. Okay. I won't make you stand up. Congratulations on your nomination for Rustic Oracle. I know we've spoken about the film before. I know I've seen it. I love it. It's art and it's so important. But can you tell us why it was important for you to play a character like Susan, which for our viewers who don't know is a dramatic feature about a missing Mohawk girl?
Yes, the mother of a missing Mohawk girl. Sonia Bonspiel-Boello, our director, she wanted to do a story about the families that are affected by this epidemic that is happening in Canada and the United States. Because, as she's mentioned many times before, it's become very political with the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls inquiry that happened a couple of years ago, and this thing that's been going on for so many years. The effects that it has on the people actually living it has gotten kind of lost in all the politics of it all. So she really wanted to touch on that, and telling the story from the 8-year-old sister point of view was just a really kind of a fresh take on that. So that's why I wanted to represent the families.
So we're in a pandemic. I'm not sure if you've noticed. I'm in my kitchen. You're there in your, I'm assuming, pajama bottoms. So how is COVID changing your relationship to your art?
To my art.
Your
Oh my
art.
gosh. Well, I mean, I've just gotten back to work a couple of weeks ago. So that has just been so great because I mean, like everyone else, I was going a little stir crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I took this time as a full reset. I put down my phone a bit more.
See my face? I was like,
right, I know what?
I don't know how to do that. It's like right here.
I was focusing on meditation and being in the forest, and I spent as much time with my little bubble as I possibly could, and it was a full on realization of what we've become. And I just sort of went back to what were we doing 20 years ago, 30 years ago, just appreciating family and doing dinners and having coffee dates and not obsessed with social media. So that's what it was for me.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You are a nominee.
I am.
For Best Voice.
Yes.
For Absolute Carnage. For
yes.
Norman Osborne and Carnage. Oh my God. I know this role. I know these roles, 2 in 1 kind of thing, were very special to you. Please tell the class why.
They were such a unique challenge. It was so much fun for me to get to be able to play this dichotomy of characters. I mean, but they're both very, very messed up psychologically, which is just a lot of fun to play. And bad guys.
Not a lot of fun to be. But it is a lot of fun to play.
No. And I've had my moments of being in interesting places mentally. So no, it's not fun, but no, fun to play on TV. No, it was just a blast. I mean, the things I got to do as this character, working with myself, many scenes where I was just being crazy with me as the opposite actor. It was a lot of fun.
We have all still been able to continue to exist as artists, to get to know ourselves as artists. How do you think COVID has changed your art and your relationship to the work that you do?
I would say I appreciate it more. Not that I was unappreciative before, but this gave me a lot of time just to sit and think and be with myself and sit with the parts of me that maybe I didn't want to sit with. It was a great time of introspection. A lot of
the Norman or the Carnage. I'm actually picturing
all of the above.
Giles.
All of the above. No, it just. When life is going and you've got everything on the go, you don't necessarily have this kind of forced downtime where it's it's just me with me. Okay, maybe we can look at some stuff. So it was. I would say that my art has gotten deeper, if anything.
So you are nominated tonight for Charlie on Hospital Show, which for anybody who hasn't watched it, one, why haven't you watched it? What the heck?
It's so easy to watch. It's on YouTube.
Right there. And
they're 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's a workplace comedy about the behind the scenes of a medical show. And you are someone who has who's starred on a medical show. So how accurate is Hospital Show?
It's a heightened sort of much sillier version of being on a medical show, I would say. But Adam Reed, our magnificent creator,
also a nominee tonight for something totally different.
I know, for Van Helsing. I know, it's amazing. He's just that well-rounded.
Yeah,
just
he is.
Doing everything. He actually spoke to me about some of my experiences on Remedy, the actual medical show that I was a part of. So that was really fun, the banana surgery, which he's so funny in that scene. That's directly from Remedy, and there are a bunch of from all of us actors actually on Hospital Show. There are a lot of our weird set stories peppered in. So
I love it. And I love watching and trying to figure out whose story is that?
Yeah.
Sarah, we are in the midst of a global pandemic. I'm not sure if you noticed. I'm conducting this interview from my kitchen. So I'm sorry to have to been the one to break it to you, but COVID. But how has the COVID changed how you see your art and who you are as an artist?
Whew.
Big question for 2-minute interview.
Big question. It's ironic that you asked that because I'm quarantining right now because I was working in Nevada. So I'm nearing the end of my Vancouver quarantine right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, those sort of technicalities aside, I think I keep saying, like, anyone who hasn't gone deeply inward during this time and really looked at what they stand for and what's important to them has like missed the boat entirely. But I mean, I guess whatever you've got to do. But I think I just think so much about what connects us and that it's the most important part of my job is to make people feel connected in whatever way, whatever genre. So I think about that a lot. I think about the weight of that, the weight and the levity of that, because we need both at different times. And I think certainly during this year, we've really needed to look at the quality of our connections and how we keep those as strong as we can while being apart.
You're one of the nicest people that I've met, and literally one of the nicest blokes in this business. And you're constantly playing these like dark, messed up, I don't know, f***ed up. Can I swear? I don't know if I can swear on my red carpet. Oh, if I can't, that was beeped out. Oh, okay. But dark characters in the gray zone. How does that work? Like, are you aware of the cognitive dissonance, or like of you being like one of the nicest humans and then also playing characters like Max and like Murphy?
I don't know why it's I don't know. It has something to do with my face. I get to play the evil characters, and I'm very lucky because I mean they're the most fun to play, honestly.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the playing that you got to do as Max Borman on Van Helsing.
The most freeing experience I've ever had in my life, and I stand by that completely. There was nothing that I couldn't, the word no didn't show up a lot from the people who were running the show whenever I decided to do anything. They really just let it fly. So honestly, it was just such a freeing experience, and what I'm so grateful for. And I would go back, and I miss playing this character. And here we are tonight from the comfort of my own bedroom, but still very honored to be here and nominated as well as so many other great actors.
So we haven't spoken since we've all had to bid adieu to the 100. Although you had already, since last time I spoke, you had said goodbye. The rest of us had not said goodbye. So can you tell me a little bit about the experience of having to now publicly, watch it all play out, and what kind of feelings that you're like? Is it grief? Like, is it closure? Where are you at in your process?
Yeah, I think I would think it's closure at this point, but I don't know. There still might be more chapters of this thing that need to get closed that I'm just unaware of at this point. But yeah, it's sad, but it's also so fulfilling after 7 seasons to actually get to go out the way we wanted to go out, and I'm so proud of the way that we did that.
Oh wow, look at you. Oh,
that's very sweet.
Hold on, we actually have a special guest. Hold on, Catherine Lough Haggquist.
What?
Yeah, let's see if we can.
Yeah. So happy to see you.
Okay, so hello to you both. Hi, welcome to the UBCP ACTRA Awards virtual red carpet. So Catherine Lough Haggquist is the winner of the Lorena Gale Women of Distinction Award this year. And we are joined by one of her best friends, who is also going to be presenting the award. Welcome to the red carpet. So first of all, Catherine, Kat, what does it mean to you to receive this particular award, especially considering what a presence Lorena Gale was?
I've been trying to figure out how to succinctly put it into words, and it is such a huge honor because the women I'm listed amongst are people who inspired me to be better. I mean, some I regularly collaborate with as peers, some are slightly ahead of me in their journey, but all have challenged me to be better. And I am so grateful to not only have had them led the way, but now to be counted amongst them.
Yeah. Bronwyn.
Yes.
What makes Kat so great? So okay, so tell me though about the qualities that Kat has that make her the perfect recipient for the Lorena Gale Woman of Distinction Award.
Well, there's lots, but one of the very first things that comes to mind for me is that she's a leader in this community. And a leader that makes sure that everyone feels welcome to be a part of this community and really seeks to do that, to welcome, to elevate them, to be curious and celebrate them. And that's what a true leader does. So I'm thrilled she gets this award. It's well-deserved.
Well deserved. Any rebuttal, Kat? No.
Damn it. Thank you, B. When I was asked who I wanted to introduce me, there was no one I could think of who has been more closely tied and a party to the adventures and misadventures of my career than you. I mean, we calculated at one point that Bronwyn, being my work spouse, had spent more time with me than my actual spouse, and that has been a joy of this adventure. So I thank you for your words, and I thank you for your partnership.
Nick Wolfhard, we are here to talk about your nomination.
Hi, everybody.
For The Last Kids on Earth.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jack Sullivan and Last Kids. People love them some Jack and some Last Kids. So
Yeah.
what do you love about Jack and about the show?
Well, Jack is like a lot like myself, especially in middle school, where he was kind of just like he was just kind of like bullied, didn't have that many friends, a bit of an introvert. Luckily, I had a family that loves me very much, but Jack unfortunately didn't. But it's nice that when I got older, I kind of got to add on to my own family, just like Jack does. But again, he doesn't have one. So with me, I can add on to my own, and he's very hyperactive, like I am. And I mean, he's a kid, so obviously I made mistakes like him when I was younger. And
little bit of a different playing field, though, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It's the zombie apocalypse. And what I love most about Last Kids, honestly, is besides the show itself, because it's excellent. I watch these new episodes. I watch book 3, and I think to myself, like, we had such good chemistry together. Me and Monse Hernandez, the voice of June, Garland Witt, the voice of Quint, and of course Charlie Demers, who's Dirk Savage. We all kind of bounce off each other because it's like a radio play. We all kind of record at the same time.
Yeah. I love when voice actors get to do that, because you don't always, right?
Yeah, no, not always. For anime, it's usually solo in the booth, which is still very fun to do solo. But sometimes it's nice to be in a group together, because it makes the delivery that much better. And it's my favorite part is just I got to meet all these amazing people and work with them and make these like amazing friends that's in real life and in the show.
Hello, Dhirendra.
Hey, hi Sabrina, how are you doing?
I'm okay. What are you making there?
It's that time of the day, the sun is shining. I'm making myself a cup of Turkish coffee.
Turkish coffee. That sounds amazing. While you're making your coffee, I'm going to first of all congratulate you on your nomination for Lego Jurassic World: The Legend of Isla Nublar. You voice, but you play. There's playing Simon Masrani on Lego Jurassic World. So tell me about your favorite thing about playing, voicing, being Simon Masrani.
Well, the thing about Simon is that, in the film, he was very much like, he's a megalomaniac of some kind, a visionary, but he was very he was kind of restrained, whereas in the voice animation series, I'm given the liberty to kind of just go wacky. It's kind of like my Sacha Baron Cohen in Madagascar. It's like over the top, zany, ADHD, CEO of an organization who basically just keeps throwing things and laying, basically causing carnage in his tracks. So it's a lot of fun to play. And, for BIPOC actors, those opportunities are really rare, because you're usually, fulfilling a function of some kind of an issue. Whereas in this case, I'm basically, just this guy, and it's so much fun to play. It's great to be a torchbearer for the brown people, but I look forward to the day. I'm going to choke up. I look forward to the day where I'm not the only nominated guy in this category or other categories. I say that with my heart. And allies, help me. Without you, we can't do this. The reason I got this job is because of an ally. One actor who was hired, a non-received ally actor was hired for this role, and he turned it down. And that's how the search went, to look for somebody like me to play the role. So I'm grateful, and I look forward to new beginnings for all of us. Thank you so much.
Anytime I feel challenged with any role, I just kind of, I think I do the best job I can. I think that challenge is what keeps acting very interesting for me. And I just am really fascinated with the different walks of life and different characters. Usually the farther out of my range, the better. It's funny because like around my house, I'll watch The Office nonstop with my girlfriend, and all I do is comedy and stuff. So it's so weird to, like, when I book a job, it's like some odd character and not usually the nicest person. It's really nice just to kind of try and find empathy with all sorts of different walks of life. So
how do you think the experience of just living through this time has changed your relationship to your art and to the art of acting?
Well, that's a great question. I think it's been, and this is I love writing as well. And I was a co-writer on Beyond the Woods and some other projects I have in development and just writing in general. And this has actually given me time to access another part of my craft, which is writing. And I've written a book, and this has been an incredible time, like just to even understand where I come from as an actor. It's been incredible. I've had so much time it's not like I go anywhere ever. So I just all the time to basically study.
I'm always in my kitchen now, Stephen. I totally understand. Welcome to the UBCP ACTRA virtual red carpet.
It's wonderful to be here.
I'm there.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
Together in virtual space.
Listen, you are a really nice person. You are one of the sweetest. No, like, this is going somewhere. You are one of the sweetest people that I know. And yet here we are, and you are nominated for playing an evil stepmother. Tell me about the fun of playing a villain and the kind of work that somebody who is so damn sweet with herself has to do, in order to inhabit that role.
Those are wonderful questions, and bless you. That's incredibly kind. I think it's delightful to be aging into the stereotype of the villainous bitch. I mean, if you're going to have a stereotype, please let it be that one, right? No, but seriously, the best. So much fun. I think we all have that inner, it's that ability to let the id out, to just be able to let it play unabashedly and to not have to censor it, because we all have a shadow side. Right. And it's fun to just be able to play in it and indulge in it and and get paid for it. It's pretty amazing, actually, very therapeutic. I'm definitely, I've got a bitch in me, big bitch. So, it's fun to just be able to let her, just play.
Before we go any further, though, I want to pour one out for Supernatural. Kevin.
No.
So how do you think your time as Kevin changed you as an actor and as a human being?
Supernatural was playing Kevin. That was the role that really solidified my place in the industry, even in my own mind.
Yeah.
Like before that, I was an up and comer. I was doing all these things. I'm like, a lot of potentials, but I don't know how long I'm going to be in this industry. I don't know if, there were so many uncertainties, right? Like, how long are my parents going to keep riding my ass about, like, maybe you should look into other things. And once Kevin happened, it was my first, stable job for like a period of 6 years. Wow. Where I always came back, got to visit my family, and it was with the same group of people. It was so nice to just have some sort of regularity in such an unregular industry.
So what kind of final message then do you have for Supernatural fans? I mean, you're not going anywhere, but Supernatural riding into the sunset.
I'm just glad that the show got to end on its own terms. Yes and no. They almost did, and then the worldwide pandemic happened. But
there's a pandemic?
I know, it's so weird.
Right, I'm in my kitchen. Right.
But like the fact that they got to call the end of it, they were trying to do a couple of things that didn't end up going because of the pandemic. But I think it's just so important for a show to end on its own terms, in terms like for a fan base, rather than like, oh, that just ended, and it's because they didn't really expect it. They thought they were going to get renewed, and they didn't. So
I'm looking at you, the OA. I'm looking at you.
So many shows, right? But for a show to like know that this is our final season, we're calling it. We're going to end our story here, and just to wrap it up with a nice little bow. Like I think that's so cool to be able to do.
Thank you so much for joining me for a whirlwind red carpet interview. We had it coming. I'm trying to find the word to describe we had it coming, because I'm like, this is not a light film. Like this is a revenge film. So tell me what drew you to Anna and to her revenge journey to avenge her sister.
When I read the script, I immediately felt like it was a role that I had been wanting to do, like that type of meaningful journey that the character goes on. And at the time when I read it too, I was in grief. I was grieving. I had lost my stepdad a couple years before. So I think just the place that Anna was in the film, it really resonated with me. So
I mean, we are here in my kitchen on the red carpet for the UBCP ACTRA Awards. What kind of role has the UBCP ACTRA played in helping you feel part of a community or in your career so far?
So I moved out west from Toronto 2.5 years ago. It's almost 3 years. And since I have moved here, I've just felt so welcomed. I felt like the West Coast community just opened up and like took me in their arms. I mean, I was a star to watch last year at Whistler. So
you were. Because that's where we had it coming, had its premiere, right? Was at Whistler.
Yeah, and really got to meet a lot of the people that work for UBCP ACTRA, and I just felt like a very welcoming energy, which I hadn't really felt before. So yeah, really welcoming.
Well, we love to hear it. Thank you so much, and have fun tonight.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sabrina.
Hello, Kira Zorska.
Hello, I brought a friend for you.
Hi, Joey. Joey, hi. Oh, I see you moving those little eyebrows. I love you, Joey. I'm going to use up all your time on the red carpet, fawning over my beautiful friend Joey. You're an actress. You're an educator. You're a filmmaker. How do you think COVID and the experience of living through this global pandemic will affect you, as an actress and a storyteller and an educator?
How will this moment affect? Wow.
Yeah. How do you think?
Well, I was teaching today over Zoom and working with this young woman, and she's in Brooklyn and she's amazing. And there are certain things that you have to find the silver lining of how you can try to connect. And I think that I tried to make the most of it. I was able to take online classes with DPs that I never felt that I would ever have access to as a performer or anything, and be able to ask questions. And so I tried to make the most of what this platform can give us.
Yeah. At
the same time, I'm not going to lie, it was once I finished my film school in the spring, which that last section was online.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to jump right into my next piece, which was making this short film that I had written way back when I was in school. I wrote it back in the winter, actually, and did all this prep work for it. But I realized that I need to just spend a lot of time with my children and try to give them as much joy and normalcy. And for me, I had to really balance out when it's time to go and make something and when it's time to just be there for people.
I will make an adjustment here.
Okay. Hey, this 2020, it's a pandemic. I'm in my kitchen. We work with
It's all gone sideways. It's all gone sideways. You know what? Let's just go handheld. That's
okay.
Let's just do.
I'm good. I'm good either way.
Woo! No, let's just do this. This is. We're keeping it casual. I'm going handheld, steady cam.
A film like Torn Dark Bullets can help us in this historic moment, where we're in the middle of a social justice revolution.
This film couldn't have come out at a more apropos time with what's going on in the world. And, it's weird. It's synchronistic that these things happen the way they go. And the fact that this film is out there and available for people to watch and to deal with these issues. Yeah. So really, I mean, Dan, our director, really, for him, it was, I want to create a film and I want to create a story where we're going to challenge people's concepts and perceptions of I'm just going blank here, my friend.
Yeah, it says iPad.
Ay.
This is a red carpet like no other.
I think that we all have to start examining our own prejudice that we may have or just going into the darker corners of our mind and seeing what's there and try and shed a light on it and keep it productive. Let's keep the conversation hopefully productive and moving forward and not going backward. It's all about progress and moving forward, right? So I hope this film is helping do that.
How did your work on The 100 and particularly as a Maury change you as an actor, as a human being?
Oh man. I mean, it was the first time that I played a character over multiple seasons that really had an evolution. And she came from such a dark, tortured place at the beginning of the show and then was able to grow and heal as opposed to become more damaged. She slowly started to heal her damage. It was amazing. It was like, it was 6 years of my life. So you change a lot in 6 years. I think
you do.
I think it made me more thoughtful and more just, consider things in a way of, I really don't know. We really don't have the answers about stuff, you know? And I feel like the older I get, the more I realize the less I know. So I don't know, playing her and getting to discover things with her and heal with her for a long time was just great. It was great. It was
great to watch. So what kind of message do you have for the fans of The 100, as you come to the end of your grieving process?
Yeah. To the fans, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm going to cry. Thank you so much for your support and your love. And I don't know if this show would have been what it was without you. And I don't think Maury would have been on it as long as she was without you either. So thank you for your passion. And I mean, you guys are the reason that so many of us have careers now.
Yeah.
I have a career. People know who I am because of you. So I'm extremely, extremely grateful. And I hope that you find a new show to fill the void that The 100 did in your life. And that show is very lucky.
So talk to me about the joy of a character like Nick's, specifically as a voice actor.
Well,
I think you're having some fun.
Oh yeah, big time. I think her character description said, if Han Solo were a female winged elf. And I mean, that really should tell you everything you need to know about the character.
Yeah, people who aren't watching The Dragon Prince should be like, wait, what? That there's a character like that on a show? Sign me up.
I know that I'm really proud to be a part of it because of its representation. So we have a Black royal family, we have a deaf character, there's representations of gay and lesbian characters, and it's never like these characters aren't defined by those things. They just happen to be those things. Yeah. And I mean, particularly the deaf character who signs in animation is like something that I'd never seen before. And it's so cool. People love that character, and it never babies its audience, and it's full of adventure. It's classic good versus evil. There's quests. There's lots of dragons, of course, and Dragon Prince. But yeah, I think it's just...
Yes, there are dragons.
Yeah, there's a lot of dragons. My niece has actually learnt dragon script. She can write. She writes to her friends in dragon script. So it's a really intricate world that is just rich with lore and interesting, diverse characters. And yeah, I just think it's something really fresh and fun.
Welcome to my red carpet in my kitchen.
Thank you for us in your red carpeted kitchen.
So you are nominated for Open for Submissions for a character called Desmond Baggs, which, I mean, besides Ellis Steele, Desmond Baggs might be the best character name ever. Why did you want to do this particular role? What drew you to it, to Desmond?
Because I looked at the script and I saw that Desmond Baggs, I think, is supposed to mean, I think it's D-bag. I'm not sure. I want to say for sure, but no. Well, because this is a filmmaker, Brian Skinner, that I've worked with before, a fantastic guy, a really fun, exciting challenge for the entire cast because the entire film is improvised. So it's a feature-length comedy. There was an outline provided by the writers, and the cast made up all the dialogue as we went. And
Whoa, that sounds so stressful. I mean, as somebody who's improvising a red carpet today, the idea of improvising an entire feature film sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, luckily there's.
But I'm not an actor, so I'm sure for an actor it would be more fun. Can we talk about Yellowstone for a minute? Can we talk about this super popular series that people are just like losing their minds over during the COVID? Say yes, please. I really want to.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. So, tell me about the fun. I'm assuming that playing a character like Ellis Steele is a lot of fun. So, can you tell me about like the appeal of a character like Ellis and the fun that you're having filming in Montana?
Yeah, well, for sure, he couldn't be more different from Desmond Baggs, and it's for those who haven't seen the show, I won't give too much away, but I don't get to ride any horses, I'll tell you that. But I definitely, come in and cause some trouble. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, to work with that group and I mean, Kevin Costner's on the show, who's phenomenal, and Kelly Riley, and this incredible Cole Hauser, who I know a lot of people in the BC film community know him because he's worked up here a few times.
Yeah.
So it's been wonderful. Now, crossing the border back and forth during a pandemic has been interesting.
Oh yeah, you're in quarantine right now.
I'm in quarantine. This is officially my 7th quarantine because I've been going back and forth. And so there's these sort of mandatory quarantines. This one's a 14-day quarantine, and I'm on sort of like hour 8. So I feel...
You count the hours? Wow. Well, thank you for spending some of your quarantine time with us.
I could stay
today.
for 14 days.
Disclaimer, I have 2 cats that are currently throwing their bodies against the door because I locked them up and they're meowing, and I don't know. It could get ugly. So
that's very eventful.
It's just like any red carpet should be. Chance Hertzfield.
Exactly.
No, I don't know if you know this. You're nominated for playing Danny Dixon on A Million Little Things. I hope I'm not the person to break this to you. But
I've heard.
So can you tell me what is the best part about playing a character like Danny?
Well, the thing I love about Danny is I do not take Danny's role lightly because I know many people are afraid to be themselves. And especially, in this day and age, it should be normalized. It shouldn't be a big deal. It should just be, ordinary, everyday kind of thing. So I love Danny because Danny is somehow a voice for people who are afraid to be themselves. Mm-hmm. So if Danny is able to help even just one person, then I will be extremely thankful.
That's incredible. So what kind of feedback have you received then, from audiences?
I've received amazing feedback. I mean, I get a lot of DMs from people who have told me their stories and how Danny has helped them to muster up the courage to be themselves and to embrace themselves. And the feedback I've gotten is extremely positive.
You're a nominee tonight for Torn Dark Bullets, which is a powerful film, an important film, a film that was it was created before the murder of George Floyd, and this incredible social justice revolution that is happening now all over the world. So how do you think a film like Torn Dark Bullets can help people understand this historic moment?
Wow, there's so many things to say about it. I mean, we shot it in 2018, right? So that's right. So when I read the script, I have to say that I was really kind of horrified to play this role, because I knew that the journey that this character would have to take. I mean, when I think of a worse tragedy than losing a child, I'm hard pressed to find one, and then to such tragic circumstances.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? I want to rise to this challenge, and I want to do my best to represent and do the responsible thing and bring all that I had to this role to represent the circumstance, the situation, the condition that needs to have a good look at. And I, in my wildest dreams, I hope that I could be a part of a piece that would elevate people's consciousness, would elevate awareness, and maybe bring about possible having a look at oneself in order to bring justice, in order to bring peace, equality. All of that, was going through my head when I saw this piece, and I just thought, this is something I would be honored to be a part of.
Oh, it's a
KD product placement on the side.
No, it's just a reminder that I have to make Mari dinner after this. Okay, so hi Jude. I'm so happy to see you, Jude, Revel, Aro. Listen, do you know that your mommy and daddy are nominated tonight for Coffee and Kareem?
Oh, he was there. He's like, oh yeah.
You were there?
That was my first car hit.
In utero.
In utero. You were in the hydrotherapy at the time. Okay, so let's go through all the various ways that Coffee and Kareem was special. If not a wee bit challenging.
There's a few things going on.
A few things happened. Our house burnt down in the middle of the show.
Found out we were pregnant. No big deal. A few life roller coasters.
Yeah, but the experience though of going through all of that and then getting nominated, for a UBCP ACTRA award, for 2 UBCP ACTRA awards, for this work. Like, what does it mean to you then to be nominated, especially with all of the stuff, the house burning down and the didn't know you were pregnant, and then you find out you're pregnant, like, does it make the nomination feel a little bit different somehow?
I think it makes it a little more special for sure. I mean,
2019 was a challenging year, and it was it's just affirmation that we can get through anything.
You can get through everything. This is the one interview I've kept the screen big and myself kind of small, because I'm just in love with Jude. Hi, Jude. I miss you. I miss you all. Okay, so let's look at the future then. One day in the future, and Jude comes to you and says, "Listen, you've raised me in a stunt facility. It should come as no surprise. I want to be a stunt artist." What kind of words of wisdom, do you give Jude?
I think what we're not prepared for is if he comes back and is like, "I want to be a scientist or an accountant." And I was like,
I think with stunts it'll be making sure he's trains and works hard and doesn't take it for granted, or doesn't just slide in because of his parents. We want, we instill that he has to work hard for it and train hard for it, just like anyone else would.
You're a nominee at tonight's UBCP ACTRA Awards for the role of Anthony's daughter. I know. And did you also know that this film opened the BC Gala? I'm getting it. Honestly, time is a blur. The 2019 Vancouver International Film Festival. It was such an emotional night for so many of us there. The film is so beautiful, so powerful, so devastating. And you are one of my favorite actors. So to see you shine on screen like that was just such a gift. Why did you want to do this particular role?
I thought it was an interesting take on grief and what that can do to a person, and how it's not a singular path. Grief is, they say there's the stages.
Yeah.
But who knows what every stage is going to look like for every person, and how long that's going to take. And, and I really love too how at the end, it wasn't, it sort of comes full circle, not in a forgiveness sense, because that has nothing to do with it at all, but just in self-awareness, and like, this is how I know I'm dealing with it and not dealing with it, and coping and not coping, and where do we go from here?
Yeah.
So I just, I thought it was, and it's something I relate to.
Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen this evening for the UBCP ACTRA Awards virtual red carpet. So what drew you to a character like Margaret Himmler?
Well, I was so excited when I got this gig, because I confess I didn't have Amazon Prime, so I hadn't truly seen it. But of course, the word on the street about the quality of the show preceded it. And, my favorite thing about being on that show, 4 pages a day. You know how usually you're doing 8, 10, 12, 4 pages a day. So you get the opportunity to do really good work. It was the most amazing, welcoming environment. And it was in terms of the quality of the show, it was one of the best gigs of my life. So I was so thrilled and surprised to be nominated for it, because I did it 2 years ago. So it's sort of way in the distant.
Hey, it's kind of a time travel show anyways, right? With like different time jumps and stuff. So 2 years ago, 5 years from now, it's all the same.
Yes.
So what is the importance then of a night like the UBCP ACTRA Awards, during a global pandemic?
Well, I think it's important to emphasize our community and our connection with each other, because we don't see each other that much anymore unless we are actually working with somebody.
Yeah.
We don't see anyone when we're going to audition, because we're doing it in our bedrooms or our basements. And on a more trivial level, just a little ray of light. I mean, it was so nice for me to have this nomination in this terrible, horrible year.
Let's talk about Project Blue Book, which was such I'm pouring one out for Project Blue Book, such a joy that show was for me as a viewer. Can you tell me about the joys that the role of Mimi held for you as an actor?
Well, I loved getting to play Mimi. I felt so lucky to fall into that show and get to work with, Aidan Gillen, Littlefinger, and Ksenia Solo, who I both worked with, really, really closely. Yeah. And I just loved her arc. I started as this quintessential 1950s housewife, a little uncomfortable in her own skin. And by the end of the second season, Mimi was really ballsy, and she was getting out there, and she wasn't waiting for the word of her husband, and she was solving cases.
Yes, she was.
And she was becoming more of a modern day woman ahead of her time, which I thought was, really great.
It's great and really representative of the awakening that happened for a lot of women in the 1950s. Okay, yes. So Laura, where do you stand on things like UFOs and the paranormal and, and government secrets? Like, has doing the show made you look at the world in a little bit of a different way?
I have never thought about UFOs as much as I have since I've been on the show. But it's exciting in a way, because we were exploring one of the biggest mysteries of all time.
Yeah.
Is there life out there other than ourselves, intelligent life? And I think our show did a pretty good job at conveying that, yes, indeed, there is something out there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't deny that there's some interesting stuff.
Congratulations on your nomination for Grandma's 80th surprise. What drew you to the role of the formidable Lily in Curtis Lum's film?
Well, she seems like so much like me. And I think what I really wanted, like one of the things on my bucket list was to be able to do a film in Toisan, which is the village dialect of Cantonese. And so when I first got the script, it said everything was supposed to be in Cantonese. So I asked Curtis if he would mind if I spoke Toisan, because that's the language I spoke to my parents.
Yeah.
And he said his grandmother actually speaks Toisan. So then we changed. Yeah, we had everything done in Toisan. And his mother was so good in helping me because I'm Canadian born. So I didn't know the exact translation of every single thing, but his mom, so we did it together,
Oh, fantastic. So also, I have to say, you also play the Biddy in Motherland Fort Salem, which is one of the shows that I watched early in the pandemic that I just binged through. Can you tell me about some of the joys of playing a Biddy in that really like female empowered world? Right.
And I think it's really popular now because of the Me Too movement, where it's empowering a lot of women to do things. And because the cast is like 99% women, so it does feel really empowering, and I love it that the old witches, the 7 biddies, are all old women. Like I'm 68, and I think the average age is like the 60s. There's a couple of 2 or 3 over 70.
Yeah.
So that's really nice to have, older women getting roles today.
Yes.
And it's very diverse too. Like a lot of different ethnicities are in the show. So it's just a really good, inclusive show to begin with.
Okay, so what drew you to this role in Glory?
So I got a call from an actor in town named Manoj Sood, and his son Kama Sood was directing the film.
That's fantastic.
A young filmmaker out of Cap College, and Manoj said, "My son's going to call you. Would you consider doing this role?" And then Kama called me and sent the script. And it's one of those funny things where about a month or so earlier, I was thinking I'd really like to play it like a washed up, burned out musician.
Nice.
And just kind of thinking that'd be a great role to take on. And then I got this call for this little short film out of Cap College.
Wait, sorry. That's too beautiful. So you literally were like, I want to play a washed up rock star. And then within a month you get a call about it?
I think it was a month or 2. And I remember just kind of having that thought that would be a great character to try to take on.
Yeah.
And so this good script and this great crew, these really talented kids, and I think we shot it in 3 or 4 days or something. We had enough time to do it right. And I was just really grateful, when Kama said he wrote the part for me because he had seen me in some other films and he thought I'd be good for it. So yeah, just a great thing to get any good part, something you can sink your teeth into, is all we can really ask for. And then to get some recognition like this is, beyond any hopes or expectations.
I'm curious about how COVID has changed your relationship with your art and the work that you do.
Well, I'm able to take off the mask now because I'm away from everybody, but we're filming here with a very small crew. So part of it is we decided to do this shoot with an extra small crew so we can work in small spaces. And the project I've written called Trigger Me is about 3 young Vancouverites who are kind of forced to confront their greatest challenges while in quarantine during COVID. And they all share the same online therapist. And so that's what kind of holds them all together. And that therapist is played by Gabrielle Miller, and we're actually shooting in her house right now. Yeah. So what it's done for me is it's given me an opportunity to have to write a show that's not about COVID, but it's about the common experiences that some people have during COVID.
You are nominated for work on the final season of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. That is phenomenal. What message do you have for the fans, of which I know there are legion, myself included?
I want to thank them for welcoming me into the community. I came on in season 8 as a villain. And I get my comeuppance at the end of season 9 when the show ends. And they've been very kind and welcoming to me, even though I was not so nice to some of their favorite characters.
Okay, but I'm not an actor, but I can imagine that there is a certain joy in playing a villain. Please tell me all the best parts about playing a villain, because I'm sure you voiced all kinds, right?
Yeah, but you get to be big and loud and wrong, and you can go too far. Like the expression is something like, you can never go too far if you're a villain, a drunk, or I don't know, some other character, the crazy aunt, but you just can't go too far. So it's fantastic. It's been wonderful. And then what I really appreciate about this particular character is she looks and sounds just as sweet as all the other ponies. So where some of the My Little Pony villains look like villains,
yeah,
my character looks like everybody else. And I thought it was important, especially in a kid's show, to show kids that just because someone sounds nice and looks nice doesn't mean they're a good person.
Mark Hildreth, the weirdest guy in BC film. Okay, I kid, but you are nominated for voicing a role that has given me and my family a lot of joy, especially during this season, during the pandemic, which is that of the weird guy. That's his name on The Hollow. You even got to sing Creep this year. So can you tell me, well, first let's talk about Creep, because I know that you're a musical guy. And I would imagine that the experience of recording that particular song in the style of Weird Guy must have been a rather special experience.
It was so cool. I mean, I've been a singer, since I was very little. So I would sing in like every show. You know what I mean? Like I would have done like an Elizabethan ditty or whatever in the Tudors.
Yeah.
You know, if I could have. But it's so rare that you get that I get to those things cross over.
Yeah.
It was so cool. They were like, okay, we're gonna do a second season. There's gonna be some cool stuff. We're thinking about like a musical thing. And I was like, okay, whatever. You're like, who knows? You don't know how these. And then one day they send me this arrangement. Steve D'Angelo is the name of the guy who did the arrangement. And I'm like, this sounds familiar. And Radiohead's like one of my favorite bands ever. It was so great. And one of those little clips that you can like send to your mom and be like, look what I did.
Yeah, because I guess working especially in the Vancouver film industry, where people are often, on screen getting murdered or beheaded or, exploded from the inside by an alien, you don't always have the good stuff to send to your mom, right? But what is the importance of a night like the UBCP ACTRA Awards, in the midst of everything that's going on?
We have really an amazing community of creatives here in this province, from actors to writers to directors to producers, casting directors. I've been a member of UBCP for almost 35 years, since I was quite young, and I've worked in a lot of places around the world and in the US. So I think it's important that we celebrate what we have, because what we have really is quite remarkable.
Hello, John Cassini.
Hello, Sabrina.
Wait, not just John Cassini, but congratulations, Vice President-elect of UBCP ACTRA, John Cassini.
Oh my God, I love the way you throw in the elect, because it's true. Don't start till January. Well, I've been on the board. I've been on the board for the last 3 years, and then Ellie Harvey was running for president, and she asked me if I would run as her vice president. And I feel like, I'll be doing the same work I have been doing, but vice president allows me to work with management a little bit more, allows me to work with the machinations of the union a little bit more with Ellie. And so I'm excited about that, because I think that's that's a big part of how the union runs, if it runs efficiently or not. So, and it does, but I like to, we keep evolving, and I'm committing myself for the next 3 years, starting in January, as vice president, to help with that evolving. Yeah.
I know that service is important to you, but you've been a member of UBCP ACTRA, since long before you on the board. How has UBCP ACTRA helped shape your career and who you are as a human being? Yeah, I'm member number 71. So I was there when UBCP ACTRA was getting formed. We all lined up and paid $1 if you were ACTRA. You're member 71?
I am.
Impressive.
I've been a professional actor, man, for a long time, 30 years. I've been raising a family. I primarily do it through acting. I do other things. I teach or produce, whatever, but primarily through acting. So the unions I've been a part of, SAG, ACTRA, UBCP, WGC for writing, Equity for theater, but mostly the film stuff, because that unions have really protected me and tracked down my residuals and given me health insurance and or allowed me to sort of pay into health insurance and all of that. It's made me legit, not just a vagabond. You know what I mean?
You're legit.
Kid, someone who can raise a family, have RSPs, I remember some lean years in LA, I cashed some RSPs to survive. Yeah. And they were there because I was paying into them. So I feel like the union, and not to mention what we do continually to try to evolve it and sort of the service we do day to day, but in the big picture, unions have always fought for the rights of the worker, and it's hard to fight for your own rights when you're a gig economy worker sometimes. Right. That's right. And so I think a union is really important, and I'm all in.
So how has UBCP ACTRA served its membership during this brutal pandemic?
Wow. We did what we could. We helped with dues. We reduced our dues for the same period of time the industry was shut down. And we also offered a rebate, so to speak, on any purchase of equipment up to the amount of $50 for our members. Because a lot of people had to buy rings and light rings and things and gloves to kind of, for their auditions. So, no, the gloves aren't covered. Just
They're
the lighting.
Very fantastic for tonight. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I've never worn them, and I don't know. It's just I'm home.
They
alone.
work. They work.
Thank you. And also our managers are Leslie Brady, the head of TV and film, has been working, and as has Sue Browse and Connie Brown. Our management has been working, and Keith Martin Gordy, the current president, with the government to secure CERB for our members, because we kind of fall through the cracks as far as unemployment and all the, the safety nets. So they really worked hard at that. And then also working with the associations and in the greater film industry to set the protocols that WorkSafe would then enact. We were very much involved in that. So everyone's been really busy. We have really great management and staff that have been working very hard.
But what is the importance, the specific importance of a night like tonight during a global pandemic?
Well, I think it's a reminder that there's good work going on in the city. I think even now, even during the pandemic, there's an opportunity to make, a significant role that you'll remember for the rest of your life in your career. And that's what these roles that have been nominated are for our members.
Thank you so much for joining me for the virtual red carpet for the 2020 UBCP ACTRA Awards. Congratulations to all of the nominees and to everyone in the industry who has worked so hard to bring us entertainment this year. Have a wonderful night.
Mommy, can you make me dinner now?
Yes, I can.